Good morning, good morning. We're here. Didn't think I'd be here. Wednesday, December 21st. I was trading, we were in the Discord yesterday. Markets are still moving okay, so I figured I'd show up today. Take a break from what I'm doing for a little while and see what we get. At least show up once this week. At least. Welcome, welcome. Get started in a few minutes. Keeping up appearances, as they say. Yes. All right, we'll get going in a minute or two. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, just ignore carbon. 46. 46. I feel like I'm 26. Turned 40 last week. There you go. For me, I didn't really feel it. When did I really start to? Yeah, you'll feel it soon. You're still good. By 42, 43, you'll be like, yeah, I'm in my 40s. Yeah. Ask him, can you pick that up for me? Thanks. Asking younger people to pick things up for you. That's the sign. Getting old. You have no excuse at your age. Well, depends. If you're on your feet all day, things can start to happen. Well, you should figure out what's wrong with them. You're not old, is what I'm saying. So you guys, maybe couldn't do something about that. Well, that's the joke. You sound old, you feel old. Carbon sounds older than me. Sounds like my dad. When you turn 30, your knees magically start to hurt. All right, so today, I don't know, we're here, right? We're here. Fuck. Let's get back out and see where we are. Where are we? Let me turn off my coffee maker before it starts burning the coffee. London hour, yeah, it's in 7 minutes. You are correct. I'm kind of thinking to pass on it, but then again, that was my plan last week, and then I traded it, and it was fine. And the one I didn't take was good. So maybe, yeah. But yeah, we're in this tight range, and that's normal for this time of year. It's actually could be worse, and I could have gotten to the point where there's just nothing going on. That may happen today, but even in this sideways range, there have been predictable moves. It's not like quiet, nothing going on, and then it kind of just spikes around and then dies out. There's actually been, right, yesterday was fine. We look at a 1 hour chart, yeah, it is what it is. Again, I'm not till January, really. So says the chart, actually. Whenever the chart says, I'm not identifying really the phase that it's in and really worrying about that, as I've been saying. I mean, with some of this stuff, you could say, yeah, it was weakness in the background. We didn't really trend down, though. We're still in that same price area, 1, 2, 3, going on the 4th day. After that weakness, this didn't lead to anything, which is, again, really predictable for the time of year, of course. But I'm not too worried about the usual background in that way, as far as identifying a phase and a trade that may set up U.S. session. I mean, we may come across it as we do the analysis, but it's just not the normal conditions right now for that. The yen yesterday, yeah, that came out of nowhere, right? Took a couple trades yesterday, a scalp, and then the long on the pound dollar. And that was really based off of a really self-contained little imbalance. I pointed it out at the time if anyone was there. So we'll see what we get. Again, I want to do like last time, just really, what was the word? Intense analysis. So the bigger picture is what it is. I'm not worried about catching some leg of a trend right now, or are we in markdown or this or that. If it shows up and it's there, it's there. But yeah, rangy, that's fine. Let's just take it as it comes. It was whatever the charts tell us. Could be scalp situation, whatever. Mr. Bill, good morning. Intense 5-minute analysis, exactly. Well, that's the best way to learn, even if you don't trade the 5-minute chart, because you have the same patterns, the same stuff. And if you stay on a large time frame, it's going to get pretty boring. Waiting for the next thing to happen, and it'll take 3 hours. So let's apply the analysis and see where it leads. So being in a range right now, not surprising. Having big spikes in volume leading to no outcome. I did warn of this in advance. It's not a crystal ball. It's just what happens this time of year. You get your spikes, you get your news moves, and then it doesn't really mean you're going to trend or really go anywhere without the help of news. But if it's tradable, it's tradable. If it's not, it's not. That's besides the point. So far, it still has been. Is news supposed to drop as well? We'll see. The charts say. We didn't get... what is news today? The charts, well, you know how it is. We're not trying to trade the news move, but sometimes the charts can tell you what to expect. And then on the news, you see if you get that, something to trade. It's news for Canada today. So it's not like anything major, any U.S. news major. Light news day, nothing for the pound. Tomorrow, light. Unemployment claims U.S., but it's listed as medium impact. Maybe that's like a delayed number or something. Friday, the day before Christmas Eve, Oh, we do have this. Okay, consumer confidence at 10. That's something. Probably won't be trading still at that time, so. Well, let's just do the analysis, see where it leads, knowing that it is what it is right now as far as the phases. Accumulation, distribution, all that. Not really doing it. Smart money's not really doing it. That's fine. Hello, good morning, Deepak. Did not think you were going to stream until the year. Yeah, why not? Cool. I thought I was done too. And then yesterday, I got a couple of trades. It just goes back to me always listening to the chart. Chart says trade, I trade. It says stop, I stop. Maybe today will be the day it just dies. Maybe not. So let's just see where we're going here. So we did have weakness in the background. That didn't play out. Not surprising. Again, not surprising. And now we're just in this range. Generally, how much has volume died off? Not terribly. Not terribly. You like my new moving average? Don't ask what it's for. It's for nothing. We didn't really... everything... All the volume looks really low because that's so high that it just makes everything look low after that. So I just want to zoom out. And actually, we're not that bad, considering the time of year. When you see a day or two, or a day of just ridiculously low volume, then yeah, it's over. But we haven't seen that. What is the meaning of high volume? It means a lot of activities going on in the market. Therefore, you must read the price and see what that tells you. The complete answer will take me 45 minutes. So that's the answer for the moment. All right. So looking at recent high volume points, looking at 1 hour, are we, to do the regular analysis, are we in a range? Are we in a trend? Does the trend have momentum? Obviously, we're in a range. High volume doesn't mean much in the background as far as weakness because we're just not trending right now because that's what it is right now. Normally how I would trade a range, all other time of the year aside, would be simply, when I say range, it's because volume agrees it's a range. It's not just price going sideways. It's the volume is not leading to, there's no high volume points showing accumulation or distribution. Maybe we had more selling into these up moves. We'll get a look at that more closely. If we look at that yesterday, we'd have to define these two high volume points as selling. Forget that that's green. Don't worry about it. And we'll look at the small time frame. So that could line up with a fake break here, like hunt some stops on shorts. And the range continues off fake breaks. It happens all the time. And we'll see if the small time frame agrees with that. So trading the range is sort of the obvious move. If we see something else brewing, okay. Chad's funny. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Sir, I'm seeing your chart and there is high red volume and all other volumes are average. It means still sellers are strong. You talking about this volume right here? Yesterday, the high volume? Yeah. Like I said, that's representing weakness because it's an up move that closed down. Again, you see some consistency with that on weakness here. So we'll get to the small time frames and confirm what's going on in there and take a closer look. The London hour trade, I don't know how much I want to take that, if I trust it, but let's mark our levels on that for the pound. Maybe if it looks really good. Just because the pound may not do its thing as things are slowing down, and you could end up chasing breakouts in a rangy, choppy condition with that trade. So, we'll see what it looks like. We'll see if we can get like enough confirmation and reason to get in to the London hour trade if it sets up. But there's the levels there, so nothing there yet. It was good last week. What was it yesterday? I don't remember. I think there was no setup yesterday. I don't know. Pound yen. Get our levels. All right, so for the 2 pounds, we got that. I like big bucks and I cannot lie. There you go. I like that. That's ridiculous. So yeah, let's look at yesterday on the euro dollar, especially here, but these 2 high volume points. What's going on with that? And is it US dollar driven? Is it on the other pairs? I think so. Oh yeah, it was that. Yeah. And we were already talking about weakness yesterday. Generally, as I said, there was weakness. So yeah, that's right. Higher volume showing selling there. Not much as far as demand coming in. There was finally some demand that showed up. And again, lots of volume into these higher prices. So yeah, it does confirm on the smaller time frame. We seeing the sell activity here and the sell activity here. That we do have more weakness in the background. So this would be a high probability trade if it sets up as far as the range trade. So just to point that out, as far as anything that goes with the background, right? Scalps aside, scalps, you can go either direction, but in ranging conditions, you tend to get stuck in the middle, as I always say. But once you're looking at the highs and lows, you see the sharp moves that are very nice and tradable, right? At the highs and lows. But the middle gets very choppy and sloppy. You can get stuck there for 10 hours. But if we pop up, or even pop down and see strength, But considering the background, right, this might be the way to go, is to sell high on this range. So that's pretty straightforward. It's a range, but there is more weakness in the background. I would call it distribution because of that, but who the heck knows? That means you're expecting a downtrend. I don't know about that going into Christmas. But that's what it says. Maybe. If it's going to trend, it might do it. Let's see. Is this thing setting up? Oh my gosh. Well, we'd have to wait for that to close in 4 minutes anyway. Let's see what else. Yesterday, that US dollar stuff. Yeah. Is this ranging also? This has been trending down, right? Oh, not just a few days. It was sideways before that. Similar. Have to go with weakness in the background. Also, if we're really trusting that weakness in the background and some of the usual areas to look for the short, I mean, the market just loves to do the fake breakouts, hunt stops, and there's going to be a bunch of stop losses up here as far as short positions. $618 overshoot. Okay. Normally I don't like drawing fibs and ranges, but we kind of have lower lows and lower highs, don't we? With weakness. Somewhat. Structurally. But yeah, that is actually a place where, I mean, a trade may or may not set up, but it's certainly a spot that's going to tell you about sell activity. And if you see strong sell activity here, the short is probably the move. But that'll tell you about sellers either way. If they don't show up, maybe we go continue. So that's a point to find out. But sellers could certainly take it from there off of that pattern. So that's something to look for. I like how it aligns with the 618 overshoot too. We know that one. I like big bucks and I can. Do we trust this London hour trade? As I've been doing it, if you've seen, I am looking for some sort of additional confirmation. Unless the setup is just really clean, is in a really good spot, it's not chasing late in a trend or anything bad about it. It just makes sense. That's fine. But it's also good to have some other stuff. Maybe agree with it. So yeah, like for example here, if we're selling the London hour trade on a close below, selling into a fib area, okay, into a 618. Sometimes you're breaking 618 and you're not seeing buyers, and that's good. This is like, you don't know what lurks down there as far as buy activity. There's a lot of volume on this, and that's nothing. It's the top of the hour, but it's nothing. We may have strength here. Maybe the fake break setup then. I've seen lots of time where there is strong sell activity on resistance, price go down after and retest the level after and go down. Like a double top. Double top fake break, yes. Distribution often has that. Smart money like to take their time and build up positions, so you may see that multiple signs of weakness into higher prices before the down move. Usual behavior, yep. A lot of people go long on that second move up. You know, gotcha. They think it's an uptrend. And of course, the short stop losses are up there too, so they go after that. So, and that might be the case here today. All right, London hour trade. Yeah. That's into a fib also. As most of you know, this is an area that could have buyers' demand come in. I'd much rather be breaking through that without demand if I was going short, which we've seen on this London hour trade. This is selling into an area that buyers could show up. It doesn't mean they're going to, and it's a terrible trade, but it doesn't align with analysis as far as where I would ever want to get short, right, into an area that buyers may show up. I'd want to get short before that and look to maybe get out if they show up, or sell after that, you know. So, we'll see. But again, if there's a lot of volume on the setup, obviously the long may set up off of a fake break demand coming in. So, okay. Nothing confirmed yet. All right. So again, it's generally weakness in the background. Of course, the yen pairs had that drop. Nothing showed up as far as any high volume strength or any reason to expect this to reverse and start buying. Nothing showed up. So again, that's just the background. Surprising this even happened this time of year. I don't know what the cause was. Who knows why? I don't care why, right? Why? Doesn't matter. It is. So be it. But that's got to give us, it's a little unconventional, but that's got to give us a bearish condition as well. Just having this, not reverse, not confirming any sort of strength, right? Continuing the effort versus result is good. The result is much lower, right? And where's all that buying or strength down here? Not there, right? So we'd have to go with weak on this as well. So generally weakness in the background. But as far as scalps, again, we could do that in either direction. Let's get in there, start watching stuff. And we'll see if a scalp setup happens or something that may align with weakness into up moves with the background. And thirdly, you have the London hour trade, right? So there's 3 things we could look for. London hour trade, I could end up passing. Like if it breaks down here, we'll see. Is it pound driven? Well, that's another question that we like to make sure it's pound. London hour trade is driven by the actual pound and not maybe simply just getting some strong US dollar. For example, if we're selling here. Yeah, and you see the pound yen is not moving down, so it's this US dollar moving up that's actually causing this London hour setup to potentially happen, so maybe not. Because all the dollar pairs are moving down, right? Or at least these two are. Euro's kind of flat. Euro's on the strong side right now. Yeah, we'll see. Chart is God, yes. So let's just start honing in on 5-minute situation. That's the high of the day. What is back here as far as support? I'm not even going to worry about that right now. Okay. This is suggesting that we can break to the upside here. I'm saying that because this high volume is strength buying coming in here. You can see buying into this area, right? And lack of selling here as far as volume. And then again, this is coming in as buying as well. So this actually is likely to do this right now, try to break. In the bigger picture, we're in the middle of the range, which is the choppy area. And also with these type of scalp entries, I do like a trending condition, which we don't quite have on a 5-minute as far as a uptrend structure. So there's a couple of things not great about it. But again, volume typically never lies. Never. So it is likely to try to break to the upside. Let's see, is this thing trending down? All right, but nothing I'm taking at this very moment. Bank of Japan pivoted first time in a decade. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. It looks like it's going to continue, yeah. Because we were saying, you know, we're calling this extremely bearish because of that stuff. So take anything EJ. You know, if we were looking to buy, we would expect some climactic, high volume, trappy kind of move here. And it's just not there. All the result is down, right? I mean, very simply, it's either going to do this or this, right? It's not over. Now again, things could just get quiet until frickin' January, you know, but that would be the normal expectation. It's not if you're looking to sell, it's when, where. EPAC. Sir, in crypto, I didn't understand the price show weakness but still going up. Can you explain the exact... haven't you asked this question like 8 times? I'm just saying. Like, you're struggling with this. Explain this how now. Actually, I have saw your course, but I still didn't understood any explanation. Please, you realize you keep asking this question, which is fine. You're trying to learn, but it seems like you're stuck here. What could I tell you at this point? Have the course. You are sick now, totally. Pretty big flex. What is that? People were caught off guard. Banks started to get themselves positioned for the. Yeah, I didn't see any warning of that in the chart. That's true. If we saw some weakness in distribution, well, maybe we did, but yeah, that seemed to come out of nowhere. Yeah. Where's the pre-positioning short? Like, yeah, not so much. Late in the downtrend too, as you've already been trending down for a week. That's a sort of a surprise deal, yeah. Let's see. How do I answer that? Without giving you the same answers you've heard. Well, the first thing is when you're saying you see weakness but price continues up, that's what happened. Accept it. There was some selling into an up move and then it went higher. What's the problem? You're thinking that just because smart money sold, price has to go down immediately after, or it can't go higher? Go to the Wyckoff phases. Look at preliminary support and then the final support. There's very often two, whether you're talking about buying or selling, 2 points. And we're talking where they can buy. It's often two. Well, you'll see some strength into a down move and then a further down or up move and then a further up move. There's nothing weird about that at all. I feel like I already explained everything I possibly can about this. I'm not sure what's left. If you're building up positions and some, I don't know. We're talking about selling. If you have inventory and people are selling something at a high price and there's willing buyers up there, price moved up, you sell some of your inventory. If price moves higher, what would you do then? Look to sell your inventory as well. Better price. More likely to look to sell. So think of supply and demand. Often you'll see smart money positions short. Test for buyers. Buyers will show up, and that will tell them, oh, we're going to go higher. I can get a better price to either get out of long positions, build up short positions, right? It's a supply and demand fluctuations, so they're taking advantage of it. It doesn't mean just because they got in at a high price that it has to go down, or else all hell breaks loose or something like that. Does that help? Sorry, Max from India, a little bit weak in English. That's why. Okay. So you have 10, what's something of value? You have 10 pieces of gold, Deepak. You have 10 pieces of gold. Price moves up in the market where you can sell some of that gold at a nice high price. Hooray, right? So you sell 5. Price goes up more. What would you do with the rest of your gold? You'd still look to sell some more, right? You still did well if you bought it cheap. Nothing weird about it. Smart money is not all in and all out. There's a building up of positions. There's accumulation, distribution, right? It takes time, and it's done in blocks over time. It's done in pieces, percentages, whatever you want to call it. So what are we doing today? Pound. That's not setting up. I'm kind of glad. This, not a trade I'm jumping in, but we're just looking at what may be going on if things want to behave. It's going to try to break out. Let's see. Again, it's not the greatest momentum to the upside. We're in the middle of a range, so we don't have everything aligned for a great scalp, but volume is suggesting we'll try to break out. What else can we work with here? What else can we work with? This is... Okay, we saw some... If you look at the volume there, let's just see what happens. We had some demand come in off of this low fake break pattern and high volume demand right here. I'm pointing this out because we're actually right here now, and we're going to see if this becomes an area where there is accumulation, right? We see strength again, maybe a fake break, maybe high volume again, and that suggests a low, and it will reverse and potentially a long entry. So volume suggests that. We draw the fib for today. Where are we? Pretty extreme on the 618 overshoot, and then we have this one. And that's much lower. Okay. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe we get buying and buying again on another fake breakout, and we would see lack of supply and expect that to reverse. That would be similar to the pound trade that I took yesterday, which is a little out of the ordinary but totally logical. What was it? Trying to remember. Okay, here. This buying off the low, so you had it right. It's similar. Actually, today is maybe a bit better because it started off with more buying, or it was here on today's chart. But you have this imbalance, right? Just to really point this out. See how this volume dropped off on a test for supply? You see the volume here showing you supply. Look at those bars closing at their high, right? On low activity. Lack of selling. And then buying here. So I got in here off of this. And where are we? It's just, it's just taking advantage of a little imbalance. It's not something totally aligned with the background, which again is just kind of, we're dealing with this time of year with the background. So, you have the scalps, you have the trades that go with the background, you have the London hour trade, and sometimes you just have, the chart is just showing an extreme imbalance. It's likely to move somewhere over the next 30 minutes or whatever, and you grab it. But if you know how I normally trade, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Makes sense. It's like a little miniature version of accumulation into markup, right? But just on a 5-minute chart. If you notice on the cryptos, on Bitcoin, we had the top of the range. And that showed supply. I'll go to that chart in a second. 1 second. Okay. Let me get caught up on the chat. What is going on here? Today, Christmas party day. Where is Troy? I don't know where he is. Lack of selling through EMA. Great knowledge you have. Okay, very good. Bill, yes. Hi all, great to be here. I'm new to VSA. Welcome, Elsman 2. Can you guys recommend some good info material? I would say watch my YouTube channel. It's free. It's endless hours of learning. And I say that not because I'm the greatest in the world, because I learned a lot of stuff, and just, most of the stuff I did not invent. It's just a way that I found that works, and I put it together, and I made some adjustments. So, yeah, I would say December is good for learning. The rest of the month, not so much trading maybe coming up. And, yeah, watch my videos. It's my way of using VSA. It's very similar, but there are just some differences. London hour trade. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. That would be the confirmation break. Closing at or near the low. The volume, right, the lower the better on the trade. It's a bit on the high side. It's certainly not low. Meanwhile, off it goes, right? Also into the fib area like that. Yeah, I'm not going to chase it. There it is. The volume is just not low enough. On the breakout. It's not high, but it's not low. And again, the lower the better on the breakouts. The higher the better on the fake breakouts. So, well, use your discretion. I'm passing on that. If the volume was down here, the lower the better, perhaps. And that would technically be a proper entry to have that lower volume. Here we were looking at some demand right there. Maybe I should start like marking and labeling. But retested that level and slightly below. Lower prices tell you about buyers. We're not seeing much demand come in, so it could more likely be a real breakout. Yeah, we dropped in volume. There initially we saw some buying. Not so focused down there, is it? But yeah, that close says it's likely a real breakout. Going to fib here. So I didn't take the London hour trade today. The volume was a bit too high for my liking on a breakout. It's also chasing the move. It's into a fib area. I don't have any other confirmation. So, filtering the trades. I'm going to pass on it today. And the background is weak, so, it has that. Maybe it's going to go. Quality was just not quite good enough. And that volume stuff is really straightforward on that entry because it literally decides which direction we go. It could be a buy or a sell, right? The really high volume has proven to be obviously the right thing to see going on with the fake breakout and the low volume with the real breakout. So if you have that medium volume situation, right, it's just, obviously not as high probability. That tells you factually that there was still some buying into this move. It just kind of plowed through it rather than really a lack of demand, which is what you want to see when you're getting short. So I will pass on that. This guy sort of fell asleep. It looks like it's likely to try to break because of that situation, but this is an area that could have brought it up, but we're just kind of sitting here. So we'll see. What would I possibly take right now? Again, the EJ, right, it looks like it's trending down. Maybe a scalp entry off of this test, but the high volume here showing buyers would make that not correct. If we continue down here and we're not seeing that demand come in, then we're saying, okay, it's likely a real breakout, and I could look for the next one if that's not an issue. Short scalp. There's a trap beat in the background. Oh my gosh, I don't know what you're hearing. I'm going to get a copyright strike. What am I hearing? Oh gosh, no. Suicide Boy? Oh no. I didn't put that on. Don't strike me. Yeah, Deepak, like, don't stress. If you're stressing, just keep watching my YouTube videos. Watch the course again. It's all there. You just got to take your time with it. The stressful approach isn't good. Don't do that. If that's what you're doing, I don't know. Relax. You said something about you going crazy, you know. Just take it in. It takes time. No rush. The indicator question. Price and volume. Everything else is completely useless. This is the 50 and 14 EMA, the two moving averages. This is completely useless on the bottom. It's nice for Christmas. It's a fancy trend analyzer 3000. Make money while you sleep. The ornaments. Then we have the volume indicator, which is, again, nice and Christmassy looking. Generally green if volume's high into down moves, showing potential buying. Red into up moves. Really, sometimes it's wrong. You could ignore it. And don't use indicators to trade, is my opinion. Yep, so this looks like a real breakout. Ooh, look at that really low volume there. Lower prices tell you about buyers. Strength not showing up. Very different from what happened the first time. So unless that changes and we start seeing high volume strength, that's very likely going to the fib area next, right? We're plotting it out, the template. Let me make it bigger there. Where are we going? There's a little support, 50 fib. So now the projection is to get there. But I didn't want to trade that because we had some strength that has now been resolved. We'll see about this one. What does that look like on the 1 minute? A bit of buying here, a bit. We'll see how that bottoms out. Hopefully, the lower the volume, the better, showing lack of demand. That seems to be the case, especially after that one. So there could be a break test. It could go right here without pulling back, but there could be a break test. It takes its time and meets up. 14 EMA break test. That could be an entry. But we'll have to see, make sure that demand is not there before it again. Again, here we saw some buying. It doesn't want to mark up. Maybe things are changing here. See what goes on. This is the area, similar again, where you saw this buy activity come in. And now we're coming up to it. Are they going to show up again or not? There's a decision point there, just like this was. But that's obviously not normally where you want to get into a trade when you see demand and then it's not there in the same price area. Yeah, it's likely to continue, but it's different from if this thing was just trending down without that issue of demand. That's not news. That's not market open. It's just some buying that didn't come in. But it seems to be gone now. See if we find a way in there. Again here, we'll see if they show up again. Working with what we got today. If we had high volume again, right, instead of lack of volume, we would say, okay, they're building up long positions here. But that's not the case. Well, it looks like the London hour trade got you up about 8 pips so far if you took it, but technically that volume's too high, yeah. See what goes on there. Exactly, Carbon. Lack of buyers. Lower prices tell you about buyers, the volume, activity. Not taking any stress. Okay, good. It's hard to tell through typing. Okay, you're not stressed. Okay, good. But I think I'm a little bit confused, and that's it, sir. When watching your videos, I will understand in that time. But after the next day, again, I am confused. That's fine, as long as by every Friday you feel like you know something more than you did the last Friday. We'll try to clarify if you get confused. I think the main thing that you keep asking about is, if smart money does this, then why doesn't that happen? And you have to realize it's not that rigid. It's not that straightforward. There's a game of supply and demand that's going on. It doesn't all happen at once. I mean, a lot of times I'll take advantage of what you're saying. If we see weakness on an up move and then price goes higher and you see weakness again, and then lack of demand, right? That's good. You get a really nice high price. So you got to work with that stuff. Okay, good. If it was that easy, then we would just see weakness and everybody sell, and then we win 100% of the time. But if smart money or a portion of them are selling at a high price, and then on a test for buyers, test for demand, for example, you see high volume demand, again, they can look to sell more higher, or other entities who are being more patient will sell higher. So you're just trying to take advantage of what's out there. Okay. So here we had buying come in, right? We marked that level to show that. That's the highest volume of the session. That's why I'm going back to it. It's not London Open spike. That's real stuff. And now we're seeing, again, a good increase in activity here. And maybe to go along with that, a bullish pattern of a fake breakout that happens quickly. Ideally on this bar, we close back in. So between that and that, if that becomes a bullish pattern of a fake break, which also confirms strength, you have to close higher to confirm strength. Otherwise, the sellers are just plowing through. Okay, we're doing that. We'll see if it closes up. Then we know once, twice, sustained, accumulation. This area is overwhelmed with demand and likely to move up unless we see a lot of supply. Then it could go lower, right? And they'll buy lower and probably, right? Talked about that stuff. But if we come up and see lack of supply on a test, this is typically the pattern. All right, now we have a bullish scenario we can draw out because we have some consistency, right? Buying again. At least there's enough volume on that, higher than the previous 6. And then a bullish pattern of a fake break, right? So we have demand overwhelming here, and then here's where we'll find out about supply. So that's a typical pattern that we may see, and look to buy that up to it, trying to break the high. We'll see if that occurs. This is a little out of context with the background. It's just kind of taking advantage of what may be there. It's in the dead center of the range, which I don't like to trade. And typically you won't get an imbalance in the middle. You'll be in balance, and that's why you're in the middle, stuck. But if it's there, it's there. Similar to what I did yesterday with the pound dollar long. All right, we'll see. Now, again, on some of the others, let's go to EJ. Very different, where you didn't see the buying come in there. So you have a bearish scenario there. And that's being driven by, obviously, strong yen compared to the weak or sideways U.S. dollar. So it's a bit different, EJ versus EU, of course, because of that. So look, if it doesn't want to do it, it doesn't do it, right? Let's see. We have to confirm strength. I didn't make that up. I didn't invent this. But combining everything, right, and the fake break. But as far as you need a higher close to confirm strength. So if we close down on decreased volume, whoever bought there bought, and price may continue down, and they didn't get a great price. And they may buy again lower. So we'll see what goes on. Bitcoin, yeah, let's look at that. Pete, I was doing Bitcoin for a bit. I don't know if he has anything on it now. Yeah, it's exactly what I pointed out last time we looked at it. Something has occurred, so we'll look at that. Okay, let's do that. Because this is not setting up right now if this closes down, so I don't really have to watch that right this second. Okay, so if you go back to whenever I did my analysis on this, and I was showing you the accumulation. Remember talking about this, right? So this level was key. Remember this? Why is that so important? That's why we still use Wyckoff. It's the first level of resistance after strength. It's the top of the accumulation range. This marks, right? If you're able to get out of this, remember I said this? On low volume, the lower the better. You're likely to start trending. If you get above this level and you see weakness and rejection, you're not going anywhere, right? There it is. So, as I call it, it's a failed markup. That means at the decision point where price would have gone into an uptrend from accumulation finally going into the uptrend. I remember somebody said, well, it's higher highs, higher low. You don't consider this an uptrend. But yeah, you have that stuff within accumulation. But the overall phase and the positioning of smart money that's buying or whatever is the range here. And so when you get above automatic rally, again, you could just Google the Wyckoff phases if you're not sure what this is. But going into accumulation where they're buying into markup, into the uptrend, right? That is the decision point. And the chart spoke, said, no, we're not doing it. Everybody should know this, right? Unless you're new. So if you're expecting an up move, it's not happening. That's a lot of volume. And the chart is saying we're going to do this. It doesn't mean right now in a straight line, but the point is if you have that much supply, we were just talking about, this goes back to Deepak, what you're asking about, right? There's buyers here, right? There's buyers. There's strength, which did, at least stop the progress of the down move to confirm strength. But shouldn't it trend up, right? Not if you have supply selling that much. Then if it's that much selling, buyers are going to wait. They're going to say, okay, let it come down. There's that much selling. There's a lot of people willing to jump ship down here and sell off. And they could buy that right up and try it again. By the way, this gets adjusted now to here, right? They could try it again. That's where it becomes an uptrend. If it fails and you bought down here, you get out. Wait for another one, right? You sell some off. So that's where it is. Nothing surprising about the fact that it couldn't trend up there. It was very, very clear. Even if you didn't hear me make that prediction, it's not a crystal ball thing. It's what I teach. It's what, those of you learning my stuff know. And that, again, it's just a very simple application of VSA and the Wyckoff phases. We're not talking about jumping the creek and breaking the ice and reverse up thrust sideways bars. We're just saying what it is. And that marks, right, that very important spot. And we got our answer. Too much selling. If I was day trading crypto, which I'm not right now, that would be a short off of that. Certainly we'll be looking to short. But he knows that, right? But the conditions haven't been great for day trading, so I'm not looking at that really. Any questions about that? So yeah, chart says, it's not my opinion. It's just to be clear, because you said, what's my opinion? I always say, I'm just telling you what the chart is telling me, which is hopefully factual. That if you're accumulating Bitcoin, if you're a hodler, you're holding for the long run, chart says you're going to get 15, you're going to get 14 maybe. Who knows what you might get. Maybe quadruple your money in a year or two, or who knows. Okay, there you go. Are you also scalping 3-minute? Well, I scalp usually looking at the 5-minute and then check in with the 1 minute, but the 5-minute patterns and confirmation for entry. I am not at this time because of, when I stopped is when we were stuck in that 1920 area for so long. 1920, and we were stuck there for so long. I'm like, nah. I'm just going back to swing trading and looking to accumulate low, which I did, and if it goes lower, I'll buy more. That's it. When we get back to some normal trendy conditions rather than range, drop. When something else starts to happen, regular trends, 5 waves up, ABC retracements, normal stuff, then maybe I'll go back to day trading it, And that's just Bitcoin, but, these things tend to correlate. Cryptos are not about to go up. You can see that down move coming when that happened. Maybe one more dip down would be a good buy. Could be in a week or whatever. What do we got? So the London hour trade I passed on. That looks kind of stuck anyway. Okay, that might happen. This did not confirm strength. So as long as we're sitting below here, this gets canceled out. We needed that strength, and the faster it happens, the better. If we're hanging out down here, not so great. 1 minute will show us what the lower prices are doing. Are they buying? Initially, some. Kind of accepting these prices now. Again, there's some. Lower prices talk about buyers. You got this below support. You got a new low here. You see the activity. There's some. A little bit of a mismatch, right? Some buying, not enough to create the fake break bullish pattern. It seemed to stop the progress of breaking that level, but can't do much else. Yeah, I passed on the London hour because it was a breakout trade on medium volume rather than low volume. So there was some, right, lower prices tell you about buyers. A bit too much volume for me on that. We know that, the higher it is, the more likely it is to move up. So that's medium high, right? That would be the entry, too high. Volume's too high. If it looked like this on the initial break, then yeah, maybe. That would technically have been confirmed. The lower the better. But that's just too much volume, yeah. Let's see if I can do a break test. Do we want to do this? Continuation pattern. Yeah, I like the lack of any spike in demand off of the last low. So again, this story kind of developed where there was some buying, and then we saw it break with really low volume. So the buying at this area did not continue. Nice move. And then still no issue with large buying coming in. This is a little delayed. That's not typically going to be an issue. So we'll see if we get maybe a scalp entry off of that. It's a nice combination of, as I show often happens, break test continuation and the test of the 14 EMA. A little pop up, then we could see if it sets up to short. And now this wants to do the fake breakout. It's a little mixed up. Could have had some more volume on that demand. Could have done the fake break sooner. And working with what we got. This looks sloppy today so far. Okay. This guy. Yeah, I mean, the question right now in the market is, right, short term, are the yen pairs doing this? This is the question. This is what it's looking at doing. This, I really want to see the 14 EMA test and break test continuation pattern, so it didn't quite get there. This one did. What's the support that we were working with here? That was the low of the day, and then there it is. Break test. No issue with demand coming in. Actually, very low volume down there. Okay. Not a bad scalp here if this sets up. What are we looking at pip-wise? Okay, not bad. And what's to the left? What's down here? Oh, that's a 50 fib. Okay, and that's near fib, so to not see demand, yeah. Now let's look at the yen index. We want to trend up, yeah. Market looks like it wants to do that right now, doesn't it? Yeah, I might look to put something on a short. We'll see how it looks. At least it goes with the background. Who knows how far that could play out. Manage it. Let's see. Even on the pound yen, like again, initially that's not a good breakout to take, but then we see lower prices accepted for 15 minutes on low, medium volume. So we don't have that, confirmed strength, overwhelming demand situation at all. In this situation, if I go short here, I would want my stop around 96. I think we want to do it, huh? Taking a trade on December 21st? What the heck am I doing? All right, I'm going to trade until I take a loss, and I'll stop. Oh, gosh. 2-0 for the week so far. Did we trade Monday? I don't remember. The Discord? Deepak. Okay, sir. Again, I got it. Good. So reading chart like you is my dream, sir. Okay. You'll get there. It takes time. You're on it. Very good. I'm going to go broke. From one loss. I bet everything. Carbon, I lost everything. Let's see if that sets up. Let's see. This seems to be going. It didn't give the test of the... I just call everything a test. Test of that is there. It starts to pull away. Does the pound yen look the best? I don't like that demand, but then again, it went away. Then you look at this. It's not trending as well, but it is. And that's real lack of demand. So I might have to go with that. But as many of you know, with the scalp entries, I'm waiting for that to confirm. We'll see if it does. Where's Wixie today? Wixie! Yen index, we need that to move up. Yep, okay. But things are looking all right for this. Bill, yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, if you're jumping around too much as you're learning, you might miss it. You might kind of lose the storyline. Yeah. I mean, this is the nitty-gritty of what I really should be doing most of the time. We know the background is weak, and if we see weakness on up moves, that's nice. But meanwhile, the intense 5 minutes, see, that has to close down, otherwise no entry short. These guys are just going. Oh, that euro dollar got so confused, right? We could have seen big buying and looked to buy. Wasn't enough. We could have been seeing lack of selling and looked to sell even. Not enough. Too much. Too much volume for the sell. And look at it, just gets stuck. It doesn't know what it wants to do. All right, no setup confirmed yet on this. Yeah, that euro was the weaker one, but it just couldn't get there for the setup. Euro index, yeah. Euro versus the pound, yeah. For now, the euro's actually been strong. Generally, it's been strong. Seemed to kind of just shift to being weak momentarily. But yeah, I think the key to being able to read, I mean, it's only really 6 charts I'm looking at, and they're all either versus the US dollar or the yen, right? So it's all like, that's your perspective. So everything's moving down against the yen, and then just, you can see the relative differences. Okay, so that close says no trade, at least not yet. If we do it soon, then I'll still look to take it. If we, what's the word, carbon? If we're fluxing right here for too long, flux capacitor fluxing, we get stuck, then we kind of lose the momentum for the, this is a momentum-based trade, so it's got to get going. Ugh, I don't like that the others are playing out, or at least that one is. Like, is that the move, and then we're going to turn? I could enter at the break of this low. We want to see it pull away. It's a good stop and test action. But let's see. 83. Ugh, it's kind of a small target. I mean, that's not ultimate target, but who knows what happens here. Should not be dead fishing. Right, no dead fish today. This is not a dead fish chart. These are not dead fish charts. Euro dollar is temporarily dead fish for the moment. Australian, US, yeah, little dead fish. Yen, it's all about, is this yen moving up? Yeah, it is, and it's going without me because I'm looking at the damn AJ. Ah, that didn't set up. Pound yen. It did touch the 14 EMA. Low volume. Man, this AJ looked nice. Can we confirm now? No sloppy choppy. No dead fish. No. Pretty good. The quick way to know is if the yen, look at the yen index, dollar index, is if either one or both are trending, you're fine. This one's trending. Having a decent day. That's what we're trying to get in on. Selling against that. Well, that didn't give me an entry. This one, not convincing me to go short. Come on. Close below 14 EMA, really, if we're up here. Or breaking the low of this. Or both. If I get in the AJ short now, we're kind of counting on this doing this. Like, it's got to break that high. Unless the Australian dollar itself is just going to be weak. Ugh. I don't want to look at the EJ. It didn't give an entry. What are you going to do? Yeah, it's the strong yen that's creating anything tradable right now. Creating these downtrends against the strong yen. As far as getting in, nothing yet. Again, pound yen maybe. I just don't like that buying here, but it did go away. Kind of on the fence with that one. But as long as it's pushing up, hanging out up here, I don't have to worry about it. It's not an entry. It needs to pull away. Oh no, what's playing in the background? Oh no, I'm going to get copyright strike. We got to loop these songs. Is it doing like not the songs? I gotta play stuff I won't get a copyright strike for. Now it's the baby. Oh God, I'm gonna get copyright strikes. Actually, I don't get a strike. They just put ads on my video that I can't control and I don't get any money from, or whatever it is. It may get blocked in some countries. If you're in a country that copyright music may get it blocked from your country, I don't know. Download this video if you want it. Quick. As soon as it's done. Alright, so that didn't set up. That didn't set up. Nothing to do. Chart is suggesting this. Quite low volume at 618 overshoot. Again, the pound situation where there was a bit too much strength, but that seemed to go away. So maybe it is going for that next leg down. Selling here? No. Dollar index. If I ended up taking that GU sell, we'd kind of want that to happen here. Are we trending up? Not so much. That's starting to look likely. I don't like the low volume here. It doesn't have to be high, but it is a test for supply, test for sellers. Kind of too low. And the dollar index is just dying. You have this moving up, this moving down against it. These are driving themselves. Do we really trust the pound to be weak right now? That would be the driver of this trade because we don't have strong U.S. dollar really on our side. It's not doing much. Not 100% great. Royalty time for whoever the hell wrote those songs. I don't know. YouTube said it's whoever wrote the song. That's the scam with lo-fi music that I ran into. I put royalty-free lo-fi in the background, and then I get a copyright claim on the video. Gotcha. Imagine one of those people get 1 million views on the video and they get all the money. And it happened automatically. They didn't have to do anything. Nice scam. Struggling YouTuber is the new struggling musician. I don't know where that came from, but sounds about right. Yeah, again, what's driving any sort of moves today that aren't choppy is the strong yen, pushing down the yen pairs. Not surprising. But not any great entries. Nothing great. It just kind of went. Now it's kind of doing whatever. We don't see a good imbalance, supply-demand imbalance to the downside. So that didn't set up for the short. I was going to say, you get a bit of hope maybe if you get weakness here and rejection, and you fail this fake break bullish pattern, and you actually do a break test continuation. Not much weakness there either. Or here. So it's not a great short. Working with what we got. Do we like this? Is the U.S. dollar going to trend up? That's based on the weak pound. I might have to pass on that. One minute. Let's see what that says. Yeah, not a good short. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, it's not a good short. Now, if that volume occurred here, which is actually the opposite of what occurred, much better short, right? Higher prices tell you about sell activity, lower prices tell you about buy activity. So it was nice that we did come down without much buy activity. But those couple of spots where we tested for supply, they, where was it? There. This is tricky. Yeah, no. This is turning into now looking like it wants to do that. Volume says so. There's your supply. There's your test of supply. Tricky, huh? No good. Euro dollar, that's dead fish. That's floundering. Oh gosh, I'm getting spammed. Trouting, floundering. It's salmoning. It's any other type of fish. It's bassing. Last sip of coffee. Am I making more? Maybe. Too much floundering, and then maybe we'll call it. I don't know. But that's just what it is. Factual information. Only thing driving any moves in this market right now is strong yen. Of course, coming off that move we just saw. That's still the case. Um, but no good entry on that. Wally-eyeing. Well, like I say, in these times, sometimes no trade is, obviously, at times no trade is the only thing you can do. It's a good example of being patient, keeping your standards high. Sometimes by this time of day, I've already gotten a trade or two even, who knows. And no expectations, whatever the chart says. I was very close to getting into this, but it never set up. I was close to maybe buying this. Didn't set up, right? Saw that. The London hour trade, too much volume on a break. But we were close, but keeping the standards high, making sure it's, you'd be able to take a screenshot of that setup and explain why it's right. No excuses. Could all be lining up. This, I was looking to sell if it tested the 14 EMA. It never did that. And we got close. But the probabilities, to put it another way, right? Probabilities are just not good enough. There's a reason why we have these requirements. You could say, oh, yeah, but it still looks like it's gonna. And then take the trade, Like this one, we didn't take the short here. And you could have looked at it here and go, oh, well, it still looks like it's gonna. So I'll take it, even though it didn't actually test the level, right? Yeah. There's a reason we have these requirements, of course, right? Probability is just not good enough if it's not there. You have things working against you. This, who knows at this point? Maybe this. It's like 55, 45 probabilities we're dealing with right now, Really? Is this going to go? Yeah, that's likely going. Ugh, selling into a fib. I don't know. I don't trust it right now. Ladies. Remember, I identify as a pip. And pronouns are pip and pip. Yeah, I just don't see the proper things to drive a short here. This can't get out. This can't confirm. There's no real drive to do this right. This is going chop chop, didn't set up. This one, yeah, maybe. It's based off of the weak pound. This thing's stuck. Yeah, I don't see anything to my liking still. This is the best option that if I had to take a trade, it would be to short this, but I'm not feeling the driving force of this right now, generally. No. Again, scalps, I like to have them based on, if I'm talking about the yen pairs, the yen. And you see the AJ moving up, looking a little more bullish maybe. You see the EJ floundering. So then all of a sudden, oh, it's a great trade short on here against the yen. That's doing actually nothing, and nothing else is doing, right? So it's just the fact that the pound is weak. That is fine for a London Open trade as far as your reasoning. For a scalp, I don't like that stuff. I want to see you're selling against something that's trending up. Those make the best scalps, and it's just not doing it right now, right? Structurally. So those of you who know the scalp stuff, which is a lot of you, that's why I'm passing on what looks like a good short scalp there. Again, it doesn't mean it. There's something built into this pattern. There's some probability to it, but it's pretty much a requirement that I have an expectation of this moving up or going along with it, which is almost could look ideally like a long setup on here as I'm shorting against it. And the yen and the dollar are the driving force behind the scalps. It's just so much cleaner when you stick to that. Why didn't I take this? Oh, yeah. Low supply. Bit of demand. 618 overshoot. Yeah. Did you short it? Short it the one? You took the short on pound yen? Yeah, I mean, the pound is weak. So I trust that to be the deal here. If the yen was strong, it would be better. It can't seem to do it. Can't give me the right reason. All right, we're here. We're watching. I didn't take anything yet. Hopefully this is helpful for your own navigation of things, and learning, and whatever you may be doing. What's our music situation? All right. We're going to loop these songs. We'll keep following things. Hopefully we get something going. Be right back. Just taking like a 2-minute break. All right. Did that happen? Ah, still stuck. GU pulls away along with yen strength. Not sure what you mean. Yen's still stuck. And GU, which is talking about the dollar, right? I don't see anything I would want to risk my money on right now. You know, if it's there, I'll take it. If you're new to the stream, welcome. Say what's up. Hit the like for live analysis. I can often say, hit the like for money made already in the first hour, but that's not today. Gotta keep your standards high on the setups. Snakiest, welcome back. No trade yet today from me. I figured yesterday was good, yesterday was clean. Might as well show up today. We have some questionable pound weakness. London hour trade, didn't take it. I don't even want to say weakness. Momentum to the downside, questionable. We have, because there was too much volume, we have strong yen, which was making things look nice as we were getting going today. That stalled. So as far as selling against strong yen, looking for that, didn't happen. Passed on the setup there, didn't confirm. Euro dollar choppy. There was some strength, and then we couldn't even confirm a fake break and confirm strength and move up as a result. For so long, I'm not trusting that. This is not confirmed strength, in any sort of proper way there. So we could have. This short scalp I didn't take because of this low supply. Going short off low supply, not fun. Not my favorite. Again, didn't go short on the London hour trade because of a bit of demand, and then to suddenly go short. We don't have the US dollar trending up either, so that's not helping. That kind of summarizes where we are. Again, generally weakness in the background, but to go along with that, we would want to see weakness on up move, small time frame to align with that. Nothing like that has happened today. John Fact, welcome. I don't think I've seen you. Peter Fader's The Humble Beast. That sounds good. I'll take it. Sometimes I think I sound like an ass. So if I come off humble, then good. But when I speak with high confidence, it's not because I'm some master or I have some crystal ball. I am just trying to interpret the facts off the chart. Which makes me really just the middleman with no opinion of my own. Chart is God. Right, Carbon? If you disobey the information on the charts, you will go to hell. There you go. Your account will go to hell. Yes. Lots of analogies you could make there. Obedience is rewarded. See, that sure wasn't so great. Freaking nothing. One candle and then shit. Now you're worried. Selling into a fib area. Could be buyers lurking here. This stuff was not good enough so far today. I think not much will happen until news at 10. Yeah. And there's a little something before that from Canada, but yeah. I mean, we did start with nice trending stuff. Basically strong yen, making things trend down. But then we got a little, we're floundering. And got near setups, but didn't quite confirm. But the way it's been has been nice, even again, so far this week. Just getting these little scalp moves. At the end of the day, we're ranging in the bigger picture, but we're able to scalp in either direction. Our little imbalances. We may still have that. But as far as the weakness in the background stuff and looking to sell, yeah, on the New York news, it could pop up and hit weakness for the sell. That's one scenario that would match the background. Carbon. Oh. That's all right. You're going to retire from that soon. Just make sure you quit like dramatically, like half-baked. when the burger guy quits. Yeah, you see? What'd I say? I don't trust the pound weakness today. So I didn't trust it. If we were short, your body temperature would be slightly risen at this point. Your heart rate would be slightly increased. I think that was a good move. Oh no, we got random music on. Fix it, fix it. Back to the beginning. I like this song. Okay. Mr. Grayling, right? Are you short on the pound? Some people are short on the pound. Wipe your hands on your legs. Getting a little wet. Sorry. Okay, good. We're all keeping to our high standards. Good. So yeah, Eurodollar went choppy sloppy. Didn't trust the buy here. I still don't trust anything on that. I mean, long story short, is the dollar index trending, doing anything? It's so choppy in this pattern, no. And then, of course, the yen, which was doing a nice up move while the yen pair's dropping. That's over. You see the structure of the double top. Now what? Are we reversing? You know, I'm not looking at really volume on this or anything. But just pattern-wise in the 14 EMA, you could see it kind of falling over and, you know, structurally. That's pretty obvious. Is it doing that now is the question, which means things moving up against it. Do we have strength? Do we have strength? Not here. Now, what's this all about? Lower prices tell you about buyers. What happened down here? No big spikes. But you see the imbalance finally occurred before this up move. Nothing great, but you see the increase in volume here and then the drop into higher prices. That extreme, now the imbalance is there, right? These are like half the size of this. And this is just a 1 minute to point out that, like, where did this move come from? And as we were trending down, I'm saying I don't trust the selling the pound. So, and there was some other reasons, sorry, the other strength. The lack of supply that we saw here said don't short. And now we're back at this area where we saw lack of supply. So now what's likely to happen? It's likely to keep going. Unless supply suddenly shows up. So it's a bit hairy in there, right? Now, would you want to go long? Okay, lack of supply, maybe lack of supply again. No, we don't have strength, right? We're just looking for an imbalance. if we had popped up volume down here and then these drops, hell yeah, we want to get long, right? Where's the strength? It's so flat. Here, that's why I'm looking at this saying maybe you had some, right? Could have been better. And this is your typical consensus of accumulation. You see some, good stuff there. And then at least before that. So not quite good enough for the long. Yeah, there may be some lack of supply here and there. But we don't have demand. Intense 5-minute chart reading, right? But this is how you scalp successfully. You have to find these little imbalances. And it could lead to 10 pips, 20 pips. Unless you're going with strong momentum, which we don't have. Structurally lost that. So if you're new here, what's up? Hopefully this is informative. Hey, look at the pound dollar showing now weakness. Now it's likely to come back down. See what's going on? Floundering. It's fluxing. Wedget K, welcome. I think you're new. Weakness on EJ on 5-minute chart. Oh, so you're a VSA trader? Or maybe I forgot that you have been here before. 5-minute chart about to form doji on trend line. Oh, you like trend line. So let's see. I used to use trend lines. Yeah, I see that. And we actually just pointed out because it looks like generally a yen-driven maybe volume increase, which would be, if we're saying weakness, that would be strength over here, which confirm with that. Not that I really read volume here, and it's not that much. But you have to say, yeah, factually there was some selling into this up move. EJ, AJ, not so much volume, a bit of an increase. You can kind of see here, right? Some. We can't get these definitive, right? Okay, strength, lack of weakness. We can't get weakness, high volume. Okay, along with our lack, right? We cannot get a good imbalance so far today. But again, hopefully this is helpful in keeping you out of any, shitty trades. We kind of knew at this point that this thing was dead fish, and so on. Not to trust the pound down move, right? So, but now we have weakness, so maybe it's going to. Who knows? Dealing with 55-45 probabilities here. John Fact. Imbalance is volume related for you. Yes, that's the only way I really know. The activity, yeah. So simply put, if you have high activity, demand, low activity, low volume, supply, selling, you have the imbalance. And, knowing where to look for demand and where to look for supply, which is simply put, again, demand shows up into down moves, supply shows up into up moves. And that's just market basics about supply and demand. So if you look at the activity, the more imbalance there is, the higher probability of the move. The more volume is behind the strength or the weakness, the larger the move can even be. So volume tells you everything, right? What do I say for an example? If you put something on sale, you have a store, you're selling some milk, you put it on sale, lower prices. And the activity, the volume, does not increase in your store. That means there's no demand for milk, even at that lower price. The activity of your the exchange of selling it and buyers and matching with buyers did not increase. So maybe you go lower and you find them eventually, right? Imbalance like climactic action. Climactic is not an imbalance, technically. That's why, and it sounds like you learned traditional VSA, John Fact. I think you're new, but you probably learned like from Gavin and Tom Williams and Master of the Markets and all that stuff. WTC Roman Bogo. Not sure who that is. Yeah, okay. Okay, so just to say, for new people here, and if you've already been studying VSA, I have taken this stuff, learned the VSA stuff, the Wyckoff stuff, technical analysis. I mean, I tried everything over the years. I end up with this. And once you discover volume, and you guys know already, then yeah, you never take that thing off your chart. You need that. But it's a method I put together by taking those things. Like, I didn't invent most of what I'm doing, but I put it together in a way that's different in some ways, exactly the same in other ways. So just to say that. But it's all based on trying to gather facts. Read the chart like a piece of sheet music, or whatever you want to say. Storyline. But in climactic action, let's say you're moving up, right? And you get a extremely high, you'll call it climactic volume on an up move. That's a large amount of buying and selling. It's a large amount of buying to have such a wide spread up, right? How else could the market move up? But then it's also a lot of selling, which is why we'd say it closes off the high. It gets squashed down on that high volume. And as a result, to confirm weakness, it has to move down. So you had all this buying and all this selling. So it's not quite an imbalance. It's actually both supply and demand very active. But who's doing what, Smart money selling. The imbalance comes after. And this is, again, VSA stuff. I didn't invent it. The imbalance comes after when you do the test, right? That's traditional VSA 101. The test is what shows you the imbalance. Okay, you have supply on the up move. Then you have lack of demand on a test. If you look at like the VSA technical definition of test, that's where that comes in, and that reveals the imbalance. And for me, I have certain areas that I'm looking to test. And plus, I use the word test for everything, so don't get confused. But that's what gives you the imbalance, right? I didn't make this stuff up. Secondary test, I don't know if you maybe call it that, but let's say, for example, right now, just to have a visual, let's say we come down here into new low ground and we get, right, like you said, climactic volume. And it confirms up, and we call it strength by definition. As you move up, you're looking for the test. The test is going to be no supply, or lack of supply. Then you have high volume demand, lack of supply, right? You put your stop down here, and you go. So that is like your VSA 101, your most basic pattern, which can be good enough as is. A lot of times you get double bottom, fake break, a couple of fake outs. You build up a resistance, and then eventually you have a low volume break, a low volume test, and then you break, leading to a break. There's little patterns that occur with that stuff. Yeah, like no supply, no demand, exactly. But it's not so rigid where, like in VSA, like it has to be lower than previous two, and that's how the software works. The way I put it is like this is a test for supply here. Anyone who knows how I use this moving average, you're testing for supply right there. So I actually hone it down. It's also a support to resistance, so for two reasons. And you see the really low volume supply? So the second time, right? The second time I tried to test it, we actually had high volume supply, which is why things are a bit wishy-washy right now. High volume supply. Now, if we come down and we're seeing lack of demand after high volume supply, okay, we could be getting an imbalance to the downside, right? Breakouts are confirmed on low volume. Yeah, generally, yes. A breakout that's going to be successful is going to be on lower volume, yes. And when you're talking about this stuff comes from the Wyckoff stuff. If you have let's say this is a large time frame and this is accumulation. All right, you need to get into markup and go into the uptrend off of that accumulation range. And if you have too much volume here, that's exactly what happened with Bitcoin. Exactly what happened, and I exactly predicted it, and it's not some magical crystal ball ability I have. It's just that's the template of the market. So you were talking about low volume breakout, right? So here is on the larger scale. It should be on the 4-hour. And just to mark, right, there's the top of the range of accumulation. And we're talking about range breakouts. There's the high. Look at the failure. Look at the volume. Failed to break there. So it would have gone into an uptrend if that volume wasn't there. And it can be really low, and that's fine too. Because if sellers are interested, that's where they're going to show up. If they're not there, then all these buyers who accumulated start marking up into an uptrend. But you're not going to do that if you see this activity on selling. So there's a perfect example. And that's large time frames, small time frames, same patterns. That would be your background, BSA-wise. Weakness. Up thrust, yeah. Reverse up thrust leading to climactic action. I don't know. That's always legal. But yeah, there's a lot of names for these things. I tend to not use the names so much and just say what it is. High volume supply, high volume selling. Buy climax. Climactic action. Up thrust, reverse up thrust. So what do we got? I'm glad I didn't take anything today because nothing was good enough and that would have been wrong. This I absolutely don't trust to do anything. We had some weakness. We come down. We're similar on volume. We're not seeing lack of demand compared to we're no imbalance. This guy still never went anywhere. Never went anywhere. Well, we know this time of year it can do this. Especially. Figure to show up and see. That yen move was nice earlier, but now we're just chopping around. But yeah, talking about the stuff, the imbalances are just not there to trade in either direction. Off of that, the momentum for scalp entries is not there. So nothing there for that. And then the weakness in the background looking to short on up moves and weakness on a smaller time frame, that hasn't happened either. So no trade. And the London hour trade, that didn't set up good either. We have all these options, but nothing good enough yet. Keep the standards high. Which tells you something about the market. Well, yeah. It might finally be like, okay, it's time to stop. But yesterday was nice. Today started off with that nice yen move, so figured it was worth showing up. Hang out a bit longer and see. How was it? Yes. See, yesterday I'm like, yeah, I'll open my charts, but I'm really not going to, worry about whatever. Why did I even open it? I don't know. People are talking on the Discord, whatever. How bad was it before that trade, and what time was it? Oh, okay. Is that where I took it? I can't remember. Where did I take it? Yeah, that was it. Okay. Strength. Lack of supply. Just looking at how slow it was before that. Yeah, it was pretty dead before that, and then we got a trade. Yeah. So I'll hang out. Down fact. Is the news we ranged since Friday, DXY, the news will offer something good until then, just scalps? Yeah, that could be the case. Will I be here? New York news, 10 a.m. now. 10 a.m. my time now. I won't be here for that one, but in the future we'll deal with news releases. I mean, the long story short, it's looking at the main thing is looking at the news move itself in the first 5 or 10, 15 minutes, what that move is, and then going from there. You know, it's kind of just doing a regular analysis. It's just you have a point in time where you get that increase in activity, and it'll tell you what it means. It could be a down move and that hits strength, and then it's bullish after that. It just kind of gets things going and speeds things up. So, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes after the news, you typically, hopefully, it depends what happens, have an answer as to going forward what you want to do now. So I'm not looking to like trade the news move, you know, or anything like that. If anything, if I'm in a trade, you know, I want to get rid of risk before news and stuff. You can certainly go the wrong way for the first 10 minutes, you know. But it's the reaction. And if you get high volume, good. It tells you big money's doing something. What is it? Is it strength, weakness, right? Sometimes you can predict the news move by, you know, if you're seeing accumulation and strength all day, you expect that it's going to go up on news. But it could drop for the first 15 minutes, right? Then all of a sudden it reverses and it trends up the rest of the day, you know. So it's not like I'm trying to trade the move on the news release, you know what I'm saying? After the news, typically I'm not trading at that time just because of my schedule. So as far as me like trading after New York news, today it's 10 a.m., which is a little, it's not the usual, like 8:30. So it's late. I mean, there's that Canada news earlier. But yeah, 10 a.m. It's not this time. So. But I'm usually not trading at this time anyway, once you get to 10, 11 a.m. New York time. Just because of my schedule. But normally if I'm trading during news release, yeah, just let it happen and then go from there. It can certainly lead to good setups. What do we want to do here? Maybe nothing still, but what projections now can we do? We have some momentum going on here. If we're not seeing weakness, which we're not, we could end up with that. Bit of an increase in activity here. This I don't like at all. This is still stuck here. We knew back here that's not fast enough. You're getting stuck. It's still there. Jeez. Again, the pound moves. It was like, I don't trust the down move. I don't want to get in that. Nothing happened. And then there's also no reason to go long, is there? No. Supply here. Not much demand. This is like, I wish. Then we could go long. But it's still showing supply. Yeah. It's wishy-washy. Floundering. So yeah, I figured I'd show up. I'll hang out a bit longer. Nothing great. I don't even want to make projections because, like, I'm not about to jump in. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. All right, we'll leave this one. But yeah, of course, we'll take it as it comes. This could be the last stream of the year. We'll take it as it comes. And of course, January we're gonna be back Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Starting January 3rd, Tuesday. Nothing. Yeah, exactly. Slow at the moment, but I'll hang out. That's what I thought yesterday, and then I'm like, oh, all right. I guess I'm taking this trade. So worth hanging out a bit. We'll see. The dollar bill. Dollar index. Well, sorry, I can't make it more exciting. Here's a crappy long scalp that might set up. I say crappy because this setup is meant to go with trends and strong momentum. And we're looking at that. I mean, we have this move, but that's about it. Also, a bit of selling did show up into these higher prices. It did end up higher as a result. It wasn't a ton. But I'd rather that not be there if I was buying. But you see how it really didn't continue in this price area as far as sell activity. So that does say something about it. Actually, probably likely to continue. Well, there's the 14 EMA test, so let's see. We may get a doji type of bar here and then pull away and try to break the high. Is the yen looking like it wants to trend down? Okay, sort of. How do you grade this long scalp if it sets up here? I give it a C plus. Is it a B minus? I don't know if it's a B minus. C plus. Oh no. It's frickin' Juice World. Stop it. Stop. It's not my band. Definitely getting copyright claim on this video. Oh yeah. What do we think of this AJ? This C plus trade. We're taking it? Could happen if it does not break through 14 AJ. Yeah. I don't feel like going full risk on this. I don't know. C plus trade. Just coming down. We get a break. Break of that. Australian dollar is strong at the moment. These things can flip periodically. At the moment. But if we can get the yen to be weak along with that by breaking through here, that would help. But it's the strong Australian dollar itself that's creating this. Because if you look at the EJ, right, something else going on. Pound yen, red candle, bar. The candle bar. Could open that. Come have drinks. It's a D's trade, yes. It's a dragon trade. I think you should definitely take it, Carb. All right, we got a little activity on this thing. If we get higher prices as a result, I'll put a tiny position with tiny risk, 0.001. Are we doing this? This kind of has to happen in some way for me to go long against the yen. I want to see it look like it's going to come down. But somebody's buying the Australian dollar. What do we think? I want this to come down. It's nice that the Australian dollar is strong. I want to buy it against a weak yen. An extremely small risk because it's a C plus trade. Alright, I haven't done anything yet. This is the kind of thing where if this was trending down, not sideways and up, I would have been in it by now. Or at least if it breaks the high of that. You're going to swing trade oil. Okay. You're looking for one more dip? That's good. I like it. We'll buy the next dip if there's strength. The yen's going the wrong way, but the Australian dollar is going the right way. Come on, yen. I think it's going. Technically confirmed scalp. Yeah, I'll put something on it. That's starting to come off 14. Alright, scalp wise, yeah. I put a small risk. On the AJ long scalp. Get my stop in there. We'll see what happens. I didn't do big risk. I'm not about to start taking losses this time of year. That hurt. Maybe we'll catch something decent as far as the pips. Small position, small stop. Again, as I explained, based on the quality of the trade, I feel like it's good enough to be in. But the no regrets approach, as I always go back to saying, no regrets. If it moves up, I'll say, why didn't I get in that? That'd be regrettable. If I take a loss and it's small, I won't be saying, why did I do that? It's small. Just trying to get my exact stop. Yeah, I'm going to go with 12 pip. Small stop. Just a scalp. I could even close sooner if there's any issue. But yeah, 12 pip. Stop. It's confirmed. This is all confirmed. And this, if we could just reject the 14, which we kind of almost touched, and just pop down to here. Not another leg, but even getting back to here, we can do that. We'll be popping up through here for the scalp. And yeah, the Australian dollar's strong. That's not an issue. Pound is now looking weak. See how these things just flip? Weak pound. All right, that's something worth, putting something on, but not a big risk. What's going to happen up here? If we get here, we might get back into the weeds with this chop to the left. But it should try to break the high. We'll go from there. First thing I'll do is if it gets into new high ground right here, I will move my stop to break even. And then we'll judge supply and so on. Thanks, the hard days are the best teachers. I think so, yeah, there's something to be gained. If it's too easy, looks too easy, yeah. It's when to do nothing. And just assessing the probability, even of this. It could be different for somebody else where they're being really picky with setups. Or it could be somebody trading a small account, so they stick to the regular size risk because it's a practice, whatever. In my situation, though, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. The no regrets tells me, take this with a small position. If it goes, I'll be happy I took it. If it's a loss, it's not a big deal. I'm still up for the week. It's technically the setup is there to try to break that high next. This guy's just being so stubborn. Snakius, thank you. Are you leaving? Have a good one if you are. Oh, okay. Well, you could always watch it later. And we'll see, hey, if I'm getting a win today, at least one, then I have to come back tomorrow, right? Maybe. So we'll see. All right, Coleman. All right. If it breaks the high, you got to hit the like button. Like button for breaking the high. Actually, if you hit the like button, it's more likely to break the high. That's how it works. Oh, there you go. Like buttons make the price go up. It's like turbo. No, don't hit it twice. Because wait, I think the second one. I don't know if YouTube is still like that, but if you hit it twice, it like deselects it, and then you don't like the video anymore. There you go. I hit it once. It's once or 3 times, but really just do it once, or else you'll mess up this trade. Very important. Has to be an odd number. Let's go right here. If this fails, this trade's going to go to doo-doo. Turn to doo-doo. Let's go. Break. Unless we just have really strong Australian dollar, but we could use a little help. Watch out for weakness. No issue. It actually came really close to the high. But I'm looking for it just to get above to move my stop to break even. Otherwise, we're floundering. Fluxing. But if we get to the new high price, then it's actually trying to break out, which could either be successful or fail and hit my break even. So that's the point. Give me 10.1, and I shall move my stop to break even. At least on this chart, on this broker. Bit of volume on the 1 minute, see if it leads to the attempt to pop. That's a technical VSA definition there. Attempt to pop. Write that down. Yen? Let's go! It broke! Let's go! Oh gosh, we're getting a lot of volume. Oh gosh. That's technically the resistance. I mean, I can move my stop to break even now. No one's going to stop me. That's a lot of volume. Either this thing's going or I'm out. Very simple. There it is. There it is. Okay. Stop at break even. Normally on a scalp, I would take off maybe half my position here, but it's such small pip count. You know, there we go. Now we're getting something on a scalp. Okay, so luckily the high volume. Cha-ching! Cha-ching! High volume led to a break. Now let's not get squashed on high volume. I could even take some off. Because there's a lot of volume up here. I could close half. Who's going to stop me? Carbon? I haven't done anything yet. Cha-ching! Salamandering. I'm up 10 pips. 9? I'm basically at my 1-to-1 here. Bang, bang, bang. We're still doing it. December 21st. Closing half of my scalp right now. Closed. Remaining open to run for whatever we will project here in a second. But scalp is a scalp. I'm grabbing it. I close a little less than half, yeah. Stop at break even. I have like 65% or so of my position left on. All right, good one today. I want to say it's like fishing, but we keep using fish analogies. Kind of starting to want some sushi, but you don't give up. There's fish out there. Yen index? All right, at least, right? That's what we needed. We needed that. All right. A little something in the bank, in a good position, no risk on the trade. Let's get a real down move on this and we'll get a runner. Let's go. C plus trade? Good enough. Yeah, baby. Trusted the scalp. Trusted the scalp setup. Buy the course. My FXWorks.com. Christmas sale. Just kidding. So yeah, it was technically a confirmed entry for the scalp. Try to break the high, right? Get that going. Manage it from there. There were some things that were not great about it. And just considering it's December 21st, I want to lower my risk today, whatever. So again, for me, that's the no regrets. I'm glad I got something. I'm not sitting here going, oh, I wish I went big, my usual size, because, you work with what you know at the time. That's it. So certainly some volume on it. Not terrible, but it's getting rejected. It looks like it may be a fake breakout, which is why I wanted to take some profit, scalp-wise. But here we're dealing with some supply coming in, and is it going to be a break test continuation pattern, or bullish, or a get back below this level and become a bearish pattern off of some selling activity? And then it's pretty much trade over. Hits the break even on the rest. But we could get the break test continuation. And then whatever else is back there. Resistance there, leg up there. So hopefully that. But we did get some volume. That's not good news. So at least some in the bank. No risk on the trade. What's up, 10 people? Anything else of interest? Nah. All right, so I'm still hanging on to the piece of my AJ. Stop at break even. What was my entry? 06.7. Holding on to that. Doesn't see much else of interest. Maybe this will set up here on the pound. If we like that, everything considered. And this guy, see if we squeeze out, maybe another leg up. Ooh, if it does a fake break, then maybe not. If Wixie was here, he would have put the 11-hour trade on and I guess so, right? He would have sold, yeah. I don't know. He's pretty, he's very disciplined. The volume was a bit too high for the short, I think. Hanging on this trade by a thread. There, okay, I'm out. All right. A little small profit on that. But at least that the stop loss was under that resistance, so it's turning into a bearish pattern, fake break, with some volume on that, showing weakness, and the wide spread and the rejection, right? But there's some bearishness going on for that to even come back and hit the break even. That's fine. Not a clear break test either. So it's kind of good when you can get your stop loss, your break even in a spot where, well, the trade's falling apart anyway. Instead of up here or something where it could have done a break test and continue without you. But yeah, that's good. That's fine. Like I said at the time, right? It was likely to try to break the high. After that, a lot of you know this. After that, who the heck knows? You might as well take some profit and see what you're dealing with there. So that was the high probability move. After that, whatever. That's why it's a scalp. And you manage it. But yeah, I don't mind being, having no risk being out of that. That's fine. AU is sloppy. What is this guy doing? Oh, look, yeah, it failed. Failed. But at least we got that. That failed, though. All right, well, maybe I'll end the session then. Today was the day to be patient. There was a lot of choppy sloppy. Got a little scalp. You can look out for this. I'm probably going to do some things, but at the same time check in with the Discord. So we could always look for setups, see what's going on. Maybe Wixie will show up. This way I don't have to watch the charts. He'll just tell me. I mean, the pound is doing its thing, but when the euro dollar looks like this for so long, you know just what kind of market we're dealing with. The ends are going in different directions too. Weak pound. This thing could get it going. All right, yeah. Good enough for now. Okay, yeah. See you in the Discord. Maybe stream tomorrow. See how it goes. Very welcome, Mr. Bill. All right, thanks for hanging out. See you soon. Take care.